It's Jazz, and that's Shar, and we are Black Girls Gab. And today we are going to be talking about episode 5 of The Bachelor with Matt James.
We
Take it
are
away.
moving along in the season, Jasmine. It's very exciting. We're cutting
Finally.
girls right. We're cutting these girls out, and it's getting good. So it started with the rose ceremony this week, which I already forgot where we were even at. So I guess we already had a group date right before this. Oh yeah, then Katie made her.
Katie, yep.
Yes. Okay. So we started with the rose ceremony, and he did exactly what Katie asked him to do.
Yeah.
And made his speech. And as soon as he started, what's her name? Anna. Her face was like,
she knew. Yeah.
I did the wrong thing. She already knew. Which, in some ways, I'm kind of happy at how she reacted to the whole situation because it clear like it what she did was very wrong and inappropriate, but it seemed like as soon as she realized what she did, she was like, oh, I'm an idiot and I shouldn't have said, like,
right.
as opposed to Victoria, which we'll get into later, who's like, oh, I'm just the best thing ever. She was kind of like, oh, I'm an idiot and I deserve what's coming. It seemed like that. What did you think?
No, I completely agree. I think Matt must have been writing notes. He must have had a notepad because he did exactly what Katie said to a T. Yeah. And I thought that how he handled it was great. Honestly, I feel like this is the first episode where you start to see him getting comfortable with being the Bachelor. Like he's like, I finally get it a little bit. He goes to Brittany, then he talks to Anna. I loved how Anna handled it as well, in a mature way. And I thought that part was good. That part was great.
Yeah, that
kept
was
it moving.
Yes, kept it moving. She had to go. I just a quick shout out to her hair. I thought her hair was so cute. I'm like, yes. Is she a hairstylist? But you said that MJ was the hairstylist, right? She's not a hairstylist. Oh my God, her hair looked amazing, and her outfit and everything. I was like, oh, it's a good way to get Eve, I guess. But she looked great. So literally, she left, and then once the girls realized that she left for what she did, it was like, oh, let's go on an apology tour.
Yeah.
Let's all these newbies who we were just calling the JV squad that we're so sorry and actually we want to know everything about you guys and we want to include you. It's like, wait, where was this a week ago? Like when they got here, it was so confusing and they all quickly picked up on it. Catalina, Ryan, Brittany, and Michelle, they were all like, no, we're not buying any of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was really happy to see how quick the girls were. And to be honest, I appreciate this group of girls a lot. I don't feel the fakeness, from the girls who weren't causing the drama. Like they can see right through it. They're speaking up. Like this is a pretty decent group of girls. Well, the good girls, not the mean girls.
Yes.
I totally agree.
I agree. The ones who are really good are really good. The ones who were bad, which were the two, Anna, who I think really left gracefully, and then Victoria, who was just on a different level. And then right below would be MJ, which
right below.
Yeah. And then right below her, for me, was Serena C. But
Agreed.
She kind of was like, and one thing about her, I'm not saying I like her, but one thing about her, she kind of stands up in her whatever she believes, because she was like, everyone's on an apology tour, I'm not feeling it. Yeah. Okay, well, if that's how you feel, at least you're not like kissing butt for no reason. So I'm like, okay. Yeah. It was kind of her little one-liners are funny to me. Yeah. Mean girl vibe. So I'm like, you know what, Serena, whatever. So I wouldn't have been mad if she left, but she didn't end up leaving, but whatever. And then we had the whole Victoria debacle. So she went up to Ryan. Okay, so did we ever see when she called Ryan a hoe? Did they show us that?
I think so. I think it was in the last episode when she was just being introduced by the girls. I think when they first got here, she mentioned it. But also you forgot something. You forgot that in the group of mean girls, there was also one person who I don't understand. She was not being categorized as a mean girl in Matt's eyes, which was interesting. And that's Kit.
Oh, yeah.
And then she got the dates. I was like, wait a second.
Well, Kit very mean. Kit was very mean with the Sarah stuff, and then she kind of backed up with the new girls. Remember with Sarah, she was the one who told Sarah, if you stay here, you might as well stay in your room because your life is going to be hell in this house for the rest of the time. That's what she told her, which was crazy.
Yeah.
And then when the new girls came, she didn't really have much to say. So I don't know if she was like not feeling Victoria in the group anymore, whatever. She definitely was a mean girl at one point, but she seemed to kind of pull away from them a little bit. And for some reason, Matt likes Kit. We'll get to her, but yes, she was definitely in the group. And of course, another one that I would have been mad if she left, but you know, she stayed. So yes, she was definitely in that too. But the Victoria thing was, and literally walked away from their conversation in the middle of the conversation of her trying to explain herself. That was so rude. And then when Ryan went to Matt and couldn't even get her words out because she was crying about the fact that this crazy girl called her a hoe on her first night. I think she said it was the first night she was there. It was like, where is this coming from? It's like so much insecurity. And Victoria keeps saying she's the most secure one in the house.
Yeah. Yeah. To be honest, I was kind of surprised that Ryan was crying over the hoe comment. Not saying that you shouldn't, but I feel like some girls are probably like, you know what? Anna left with some tears. So let me do a couple tears and maybe the other ones will go. So, I mean, it definitely was something that I'm sure she was upset about. But hey, put the waterworks on if you need to get somebody else to go home. Because Victoria claims that she let Marilyn go and Sarah go. So why don't you do the same for her? I'm not mad at it because it has to do with Victoria. But Victoria's terrible. And then she wants to start crying. I was just annoyed at the whole thing. I was annoyed at her. I was annoyed that she went outside to talk to production and everything. She's just annoying. Like, I'm over it.
Yeah, everything about her is annoying. I was so scared when the roses started being handed out because a couple of times at these rose ceremonies, she gets the last one. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, watch her get the last one, and I'm gonna have to deal with her for another week. But thank God she didn't.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if you noticed, but she at the rose ceremony, she was in the front row of the rose because she came the last one. She was in the front row, right in the middle. She didn't get one, and then when everyone's going to say goodbye to Matt, she just kind of like, she's like. For the back, like I don't know what she was thinking, like, oh, if I just sit back here and hang out, like production won't realize that I have to go home. Like, you have to go. Why are you in the back? And then she made that very cringy, what did she say to him? I forget already.
Oh, I don't remember. It was
so cringy, but I love that Matt just looked at her.
Yeah, he was just like over it. He was so over it when she like didn't want to give him a hug, and it was just like, get out of my face. And to be honest, when he pulled her aside to see, like, you know, what she was doing in terms of the situation between her and Ryan, he got up without like giving her a hug. He's like, I got to think about this. And that's how I know. I'm like, oh, it's over. It's over for her. And I'm okay with it. The fact that he was just like, yeah, see you later. Yeah, I was so happy with that.
We've had enough Victoria on our screen. If we had to see it for another week, I would have been so annoyed. I was pretty sure that be it. I thought he was going to kind of clean sweep MJ too. I thought she was going to be out.
I thought so too.
But I could tell from prior to this rose ceremony and stuff, he's feeling her a little bit, and we'll see as well on their group date. I don't think he's going to be feeling her too much anymore with all this stuff going on. But he definitely is crushing on her. But it's just like crazy. Now we're at this point where there's like 5 girls that he's basically in love with. Then there's like 7 girls that he, you know, is like vibing with and wants to chill with, and the rest are all like his homies. But it's like too many people that he's basically in love with them. It's nuts.
Well, I guess we can go in deeper as to who you feel like he's basically in love with, because I feel like there's not that many girls who he is, but I can't tell. I think I'm having a hard time seeing who are the homies between the homies and folks who he might actually want something with. But I think it's clear as to who the top 5 people are. Even probably top 8, I feel like it's pretty clear. And I don't think MJ's in that top 8.
No, I think she's going home next week. And honestly, I hope that her and Jasenia go home at the same. Like, who cares? They can both just go. To me, the most I'm in love with you. The top 2 are Rachel, and I'm throwing Michelle in there now.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, she just like skyrocketed to the top, and we'll get to her. But like her little moments on the group date, I was like,
yeah, I know. I have some notes. I have some notes.
I loved it. But
So
those
cute.
two are definitely like, he's feeling them hard.
Yeah.
I would put Abigail on that list too after seeing this how they talk this time. I don't think he's gonna say love or anything like that, but I think he's gonna, again, it's gonna be one of these serious ones. I'll put Brie in there, and then my girl Piper is right in there. She's like,
you think
he's crushing hard. Yes.
Yeah.
Which we'll get on that group date. And she's been getting these little moments, but now like that group date, I was like, okay, things are getting cemented for her. And then Serena P.
Yeah.
I was, and then like the friends, like I think his number one friend is like Chelsea. I feel like he loves to be around Chelsea. He don't like her.
Yeah,
which is
same
fine.
with Katie.
Yeah, I just think something about Chelsea is like he always is looking for her. He loves to talk to her and get to know who she is, but like he doesn't want to be in a romantic relationship with her. So it's like those categories. It's very interesting, but
yeah. So now we're finished with the rose ceremony, and we're at Rachel's first date. Finally, we've been waiting for this. We've been waiting for the day. We wanted to see their connection. We always felt like she was the top, like, right? We felt like she was the winner since a while. 1. Yeah, since night 1, but we haven't been able to see much of their connections, just based off of how we see them on screen and how we know the Bachelor to be. Yes. So how do you feel about their date?
Yeah, just based on what you said, like you said, each week we see these little moments and they're so small, but it's like, oh, you're smitten hardcore. Like you can definitely see it. But once I realized the actual date she was getting the fairy tale date, which Becca got, and it's like a winner edit date. It's like, okay, you get this date. If you're not the winner, it's pretty surprising if you're not she's the winner in his mind at that moment. If somebody else later, it's because somebody moved ahead. But right now, that's his winner pick because he picked her for that date. I thought the date was absolutely adorable. Of course, I think she's so cute and sweet. Yeah. She has the disposition I assume she had. Very sweet, but still talkative and flirty and cute. They just instantly were like latched on to each other, and he just loved looking at her and all the dresses. It was adorable. And then when she saw the shoes, she was so excited. It was like, this is the cutest thing ever. I loved it. What did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was cute too. I mean, I was happy to see it. I don't think it was anything wild. Like, I think that Michelle's date provided me with more, I think, of insight into how I see them as a couple. If that makes sense. I think that his and Rachel's date was cute. We were able to see, obviously, how they felt about each other, which was great. I thought what Rachel said, I'm so worried about them if she is the winner, because she has never been in love. He's never been in love. She was talking about how she doesn't have a lot of confidence in herself, and it's projecting to her relationships, and she's scared. He was like, oh, you're so subtle and you're sure of yourself. And all those things, like if we were to hear somebody else say it, another one of these very insecure girls, it would be like a red flag, but he sees it as endearing. But I think that's always something to be a little bit concerned about when you're dealing with somebody who has never been in love before. And I'm worried about that for two people who have never been in love before. And then obviously when she dropped the bomb of like, I'm already falling in love with you. I want to walk out with you. I want to start my life with you. And it was like, so cute. I'm happy. I was happy that he was able to reciprocate that, and he was able to say that he felt the same way. But I am worried.
You were happy that he said that?
I was happy because, listen, he already was saying wild stuff like that to Sarah on day like 3. So the fact that he's been able to at least develop some type of connection with her, whether we've seen it or not on the cameras, and is able to articulate that with her and feel confident in how he is communicating that with her, more so than like how he was with Sarah, I can see the progress and how confident he is in becoming the Bachelor, being the Bachelor. I was happy that he was able to tell her that he was falling in love, because I truly do think for him, he feels like he's falling in love. But do I think that they both understand what that means, and that falling in love is different than falling in lust, or about having a sexual connection, or about just having simple chemistry? I don't know. I think that I think that that might be more of what it is than actual falling in love. And that's what I'm concerned about for both of them.
Yes, I agree. I thought the date was amazing, but yes, that Michelle date for me, I don't think anybody's going to top that date. That
Yeah.
The fact that they had met the day before, like it blows my freaking mind. Like that whole date. Rachel, I was smiling ear to ear the whole time. Of course, when the nighttime portion came on, I was excited for them, but also I was like, oh, you know what it was giving me? It was giving me, we're 15.
Yeah.
It was that, and not like because they're childish, but just it's like that feeling
Yeah.
in people when you think, you love somebody because you see them and they're really attractive and you feel butterflies around them. So that now means you love them. It was just, it just seemed to jump to that. I
Yeah.
hope that they have more of a deep thing than that. Because I am still confident that he's going to pick her. But I will say that if he does not pick her, I keep joking about all these girls are going to freak out if they're not the winner. She is going to
Oh,
have
for sure.
She's gonna have a freaking meltdown if she doesn't win this. I think she is gonna, but if she doesn't, I think it's gonna be pretty bad. But yeah, so she's the first one that he's actually said the words, because she said it to him and then he didn't say it back. And then when he gave her the rose, he actually said the words, "I'm falling in love with you too," which I'm like, oh God, this is week 5. We have 15 girls left, and you're telling somebody you're falling in love with them.
He's reassured. I appreciate that he reassured her. Yeah. I think if this was anybody else, I'd feel a little bit better about it. But I am concerned because of both of their lack of experience. I am a little bit worried about that.
Me too. But I just, for some reason, I think that Michelle's going to come and sneak up. I don't know if she's going to win, but yeah. So I Rachel's date, still think they have a great connection. Their connection definitely grew upon itself. I would love if he was going to pick her, they just left boyfriend and girlfriend. I really do. But he also made the comment, I could see myself proposing to her at the end. This is the type of girl I could propose to at the end. Well, so he's not leaving with a girlfriend. He's not. He's gonna propose. I feel like he's in that vibe. So it's like, okay, so I'm a little scared about that. But other than that, thought the date was very, very cute. She looked beautiful in that blue dress. I was like, oh my God, This is amazing. That was like a real fairy tale type of date. And then anything else from that date? I don't have anything.
No, honestly, just concerns and red flags over here. That's how I feel about it. Cute, but it's like I am worried.
Which is sad, because from our last one-on-one we saw with Michelle, it was literally the opposite. It's like, wow, no red flags, so many commonalities. Like we can see them meshing so well. And then this, it's like, I'm excited for him because I know how excited he is about her, and you can feel it jump off the screen. But it's like danger. It's just.
Yeah, and you know what? It was really giving me like First Love, Olive Garden, staring into each other's eyes as we eat, unlimited breadsticks vibe. Oh, I think I love him. First boyfriend. It was totally giving me those vibes, and we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, like kids making out in the back of the guy's
movie theater. Yeah, like that type of
It felt like that, but hopefully we'll see as time goes on. Maybe like Fantasy Suite Week or something, we'll see a little bit more.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so then we move on to the girls back at home. Everybody's name is on the date card except for Kit, which means Kit's getting a one-on-one.
I was so surprised, to be honest.
So shocked. Firstly, I didn't realize there were going to be 2 people getting a date, but if 2 people were getting a date, I thought Piper was getting a date for sure.
Yeah,
so when I saw it, I was like, oh, Kit. I'm like, okay. But he has kept saying little things when he's around her, like, oh, I really like being around Kit. So I'm like, okay, well, we'll see. So they announce all these people to go on this farming date. I mean, I guess it's a good thing.
What else can they do?
There's nothing to do there. And the place is literally called Farmington, Pennsylvania. I mean, I get it. So they went, they did, I don't even know what activity they did. Did they pick up poop? What did they even do?
I don't know. Ran after chickens, collected eggs, milked goats. Typical farm crap, literally.
The funniest thing from that whole thing was when Serena C said She's like, oh, if I knew this was a farming situation, I would have wore a different outfit. She's like, this wasn't the right outfit for farming.
Facts.
Yeah, and I guess tell them what it was. Like, so I guess everyone showed up and they had to like shovel poop. So it was like, y'all could have told them. I mean, that was kind of. But also on that date, we had the moment where he was like having these little moments with MJ, which I'm like, oh yeah, he does like kind of. She's in my like crush category. She's in like those.
Yeah, but not like.
She's gonna fall down.
For sure.
Yeah, at the end she's gonna fall down. She's in like the crush, but she's not in the high up category. She's like in the moderate. And then he sees Piper doing her interview, and then I couldn't believe it. I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. That might be bad, but like my jaw was down, and I just couldn't believe it. It was so cute, but it was also just like, what? Wait, like you like her like that? I didn't realize. I don't think, but I think they just have like this very sexual, intimate connect. That makeout was nuts. So I was like,
yeah. Listen, I remember when I said to you, I was like, listen, Piper's been getting some screen time. She was, I think, on both dates, or between the group date that she was on and her one-on-one time during like the cocktail hour, and they made sure to show it. When I think she was on in the back of a truck, or they were somewhere. But that's really interesting that they keep showing Piper. And then she looked beautiful that day with like her hair in a bun and the pearl earrings. And then this, I was like, oh, okay, there's something. And then
they let us watch so much of it. It was so
like he just stayed there. He stayed there. She was supposed to be doing her little cameo, her little confessional.
Yeah. Yes, it was so cute. I love that moment. I'm like, oh, Piper one-on-one is on the way. Like, this is why
next week.
Yeah, so it's coming up. But I'm so excited to see that now, because I was like, ooh, I'm really, really feeling that. But other than that, for the day part of the date, whatever. It was fine. It was whatever. Nighttime part of the date. Go ahead. You go ahead.
I was gonna say, I still think that Piper might be a little too spicy for him. But I feel like he just likes mild girls, like not doing too much, not too bold, but like all about him, just sweet, simple. Like if I had to put them in a category of food, it would kind of be like a carb, like just simple bread, things like that. Like they're not too spicy. They're not like, a taco, just simple French toast. You're happy with it. You're happy with pancakes, but it's not going to spice up your life. And she's a taco. She's a, create your own bowl at Chipotle. Yeah. Extra salsa. She's, and I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see it working long term, but who knows? Maybe he needs a little spice in his life.
I could see him dying to take her to Fantasy Suites, but he probably won't. But I
don't think she's gonna be that far.
Their connection, I feel like he's like, damn, I wish I could, but he's not gonna have enough spots. No. Not to talk about Paradise too much, but this girl is gonna she's gonna be the freaking star of Paradise. I can see they're all gonna want her. I love her. So night part of the date. Mm-hmm. I mean, the Abigail thing was very cute to me. Her conversation. I know what you want to talk.
I'm trying to skip over Abigail. Let's get to Michelle. Let's get to it.
Abigail, because I've been missing Abigail. We had that first night with her, and she was so sweet. In my mind, she's the next Bachelorette. I'm pretty sure. Who knows?
Katie. I wouldn't see Katie more than Abigail. I think Katie can spice it up a little bit.
Now, as the weeks go on, I see that too now, and I actually would love to see Katie, and I know she's like a super fan of the show too, so I know she would die to do it. Like that would be amazing. But I assume that Abigail would be, and like she's kind of drifted away in the background, so that's been sad. We haven't seen a one-on-one. She got the rose this time on the group date, which was good, but she got no roses before, so it was like I got what she was saying, where she's really feeling a little bit left behind. And I love that Matt reassured her with the rose. I loved her story about her family and about her future children and her fears and this and that. It's like, oh gosh, this girl is feeling strongly. I feel like she can really see Matt as her husband. And I do honestly think if they were to meet in the real world, I think there's a lot of these girls that Matt could work out with. I really do, but he's not going to pick her. But I think that she believes, which I think a lot of these women believe, this is her future husband. So she told him this nice story. I thought the story was really sweet.
Yeah.
She's just so endearing. I love that. Anything you want to say about Abigail before we move on to our girl?
She's nice. She was vulnerable. Shout out to her. Next.
Okay. We saw Michelle struggling in the date portion of the date, which I was a little bit scared. I'm like, please, girl, please don't turn into one of these girls who's crying.
Yeah, don't be Sarah. Come on.
Don't be Sarah. We just saw this, and even though I think Michelle is not too like in touch with Bachelor world, like from what I understand, she just got an Instagram like when this started. Like she's not really on the grid like that. So maybe she doesn't watch the show. And she strikes me someone who probably doesn't watch the show. She doesn't look like a Bachelor Nation person. So maybe she doesn't know, but I'm like, oh girl, please don't, you know. But then the night portion came and wow. I mean, firstly, I think she was a little bit maybe she was a little bit worried when she saw him with other girls. It's like, oh, I had all this special time. And now, please, the time is still just as special. It's just shortened. He spent however long he was with her just reassuring her about the great time they had, about what going on, and then the kissing starts happening, and then she starts to move down to his neck and his face. I was like, oh my god, it was so oh my god, because I was like shocked with the Piper thing. It was like, oh, that was shocking, and like, oh, whatever. This was like they thought they were in their own bedroom, like alone. Like this was, I don't know. ABC is just, it was like a cute little moment. He like got lost in the moment. It was very spicy. I was like, okay, Michelle. She said, I'm fighting for my man, okay?
Listen. I was when I saw him looking at her, like first of all, he like leaned back. I don't know what he did, but he like leaned back. He was like, I feel the same, and I'm like, wait, why is he like, where did all this confidence come from? Lean back, looking at her like, and then they kissed, and then when she started moving, I was like, oh, baby. Okay, listen. He is sexually attracted to her, and I am happy. I was feeling it. I'm rooting for it, rooting for them. I loved it. You could see how sexually attracted to her he is, and I was for it. I loved it. I want to see more of it.
I love that they have so many levels. Like it's all like Rachel. Of course, I love her, and I think she's great. But like, and maybe we'll see more. But for right now, I'm seeing it as the high school level. But for Michelle, like their personalities match up so well. They're both silly and fun, but they both have the same passions. They both are athletic. They both deal with the kids things. All these things that they both care about, and then they're sexually attracted to each other to the point where they're doing that on TV. It's like, this is it. I don't think he's going to be smart enough to understand, but this is it. I loved it. I was like, this is one of my favorite Bachelor moments I've seen in years. And I love their date. I know a lot of people said their date was like one of their favorite dates. I agree, but that moment in particular, because it was just so like, there's no cameras. Even though there were, obviously we saw it, but it just felt like no cameras. It was just like a little.
Yeah, it felt like we were getting like a snapshot into if they were actually developing a relationship outside of The Bachelor. Like that's what you would do if you like Netflixing and chill. Yeah, that's what it felt like. It felt like I was just sitting on the couch with my man, and like that's what it felt like. I loved it. I completely agree with you when you say that she kind of checks off the boxes from what we can see of meeting like the values that he has, his possibly even his lifestyle. And it's so much more than just like I think you're hot type of relationship or an unspoken chemistry that we see between him and Rachel. It's more than from what I can tell with his relationship with Brie of like, we're both biracial, we both have similar backgrounds, right? There's so many more levels to it, whether he understands that or not, how like important that is when you actually are in a relationship. Oh, you can tell that producers are really like, we're just going to wait. We're just going to wait for her because she really is it. She's everything that he's looking for, but we're just gonna wait until halfway when the season's finished, plop her in there, and she's not gonna even need to catch up. She's already gonna be there. She's already gonna be in the running. And that's exactly what's happening. And I love it. I love it. I love her. I love him and her together. That's it.
It's the best. I honestly can see him in like 2 weeks, basically having the same conversation he had with Rachel, having with her. I think a big reason of why he might not be, which to be fair, no fair play, but he's known her for less than a week. He's known her for 4 days probably at this point. So maybe it's a little bit nuts that like he's moving so far along with her. And he said it at the end of his date, like, I'm more far along with her than a lot of these girls in the house, which it's like, wow, you know, it's a huge statement to make, and you know these girls for 3 weeks longer. So it's like he could be a little bit scared of that, but I think once he gets to like 6, he'll probably feel like people are on an even playing field at that point. It's like, you know what? I hope that it just keeps skyrocketing up, because this connection, and also not just sexual, but someone who's grounded, someone who gets, like, I want him to understand, like, this is not just an attraction thing. This is special. I can't believe, and of course she's amazing and great. If we were to see her, she's striking, but like she just leaps off the screen. Like she's a star. And then with him, it's like, it's just perfection.
It's like effortless. Yeah, it feels different. But yeah, I feel like unless there's something just that we are not seeing, obviously we didn't get to see much of many conversations between him and Rachel, even about values and things like that. It was just like, oh, I'm obsessed with you. Yeah, I'm obsessed with you too. But we were able to see that between him and Michelle, that showed that there were a lot more similarities, which for me would make me question as a viewer, how do him and Rachel stack up? If we still, like, because really in my heart, I feel like Michelle should be and could be the winner. But just based off of how the show goes, I just feel like Rachel is going to be it. And I need to see more about, like, to really just make it make sense to me. I need to see conversations between him and Rachel for it to make sense as to why he would not pick her over Michelle. Because right now it's Michelle.
I think a big reason for that is this is our 5th episode. So for the first 4 episodes, we spent 3/4 of every episode with the drama. And then we got quick things of the group dates and this and that. So again, we would see little moments with Rachel, but I never saw a full conversation with him and Rachel until last night. So it's like, you know, we're not seeing it. So who knows what type of conversations they've had on all their group dates. You know, it could be progressed a little bit further, but it's like they're using so much of the time to showcase Victoria and Anna and all these people. So hopefully now that they're gone, we can see real conversations with both Rachel and Michelle, because I want to see both. I want to see, you know, if he's getting down with who and, you know, how that's getting. But so far, I mean, Michelle, it was just perfection. I loved it. I loved it. To me, it was like he just, like you said, this week he just turned into Matt. Like he just turned into himself. He's not like the super uptight, you know, I have to be perfect guy. It's just like, I'm letting loose. I'm falling in love. I'm doing whatever. And then next week when Tyler comes, it's going to be even better. So love that. And then, Abigail got the rose, which was nice. That's reassuring. Hopefully that means she'll get a date soon. You know, we'll see. And then when we got back to, then he speaks to MJ and told MJ that somebody said that she was an antagonist in the house and this and that. So of course, on the defense, she comes back and she says, well, who was talking about me? Blah, blah, blah. And Jasenia is like, hey girl, it was me.
Very bold. I was so surprised because Jasenia doesn't give me that vibe that she almost seems a little meek to me, at least I thought. But she surprised me and I was happy about it.
I was happy about it too. And she also did make it very clear. She said, Matt asked me, which he probably asked everyone to be fair, but he asked me who's causing problems in the house. And she said exactly what MJ said about the JV and varsity. Now, again, girls could have taken that as a joke. Other girls could have taken it seriously. Girls were crying about it. So clearly people took it seriously. So she told Matt. And now MJ is on the absolute defense. Everything is blah, blah, blah. But I love the way that Jasenia stood up for herself. I thought it was great. I think she's really poised. Again, somebody else who will do great in Paradise, just not for Matt. But I thought it was, you know, fine. That was all I really had to say about that. Oh, group date roses for her. Anything else about the group date?
No.
No.
It was
So
just
that was
like,
it.
yeah.
That was it. Then we moved on to Kit. So I
Oh,
didn't even know we
jeez.
were gonna get because it like time is running out, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
we're gonna get. And I don't know if you noticed, but normally for dates, for one-on-one dates, we get like 2 or 3 segments, like a segment and a commercial, then a segment and
Yeah.
we got literally one segment with Kit.
Very
No,
short.
it was very short. And when she got her card, I was a little bit like, ooh, because then she made the comment that she had told him that she liked to cook and this and that. And I'm like, that is kind of thoughtful. So I'm like, does he actually like her? Because like,
Well,
I
we
thought
know he likes her. We know he. Well, hold on a second. But there's 2 things, right? Are we going to talk more about the orchid? Because it could be an orchid situation. But he did mention how he liked her, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's a little bit of mixture of both. I think he's just a very thoughtful person.
Yeah.
But he has mentioned that he does like her. So
true. And you know, the producers maybe said like, oh hey Matt, remember when she said in the first conversation that she likes to cook with her mom? Well, you know, who knows, but he does, like you said, he seems like a thoughtful guy, and he has mentioned that I think he's even used the word vibe with her. So I'm like, okay, well,
right.
okay. So they were cooking, which was, you know, cute. And I mean, it's again these things where it's like, Matt, do you like everybody or not? Like it's like
That's the way he was like,
yes, I'm like, you're either a very good actor or it's just like, I feel like he was told by like Tyler and Hannah Brown, all these people, like, just go in with it and just do it all. And I feel like that's what he's doing. He's like, oh, I'm just going to experiment everywhere, test everything and see what sticks. Because everybody, it's like, he gives them that reassurance.
yeah.
It's so much reassurance. I always go back to Sarah that week when she was struggling and he was like, oh, I'll come back and see you every day to check on you. You can't say that to her, but like, I don't think he understands that. So he's like, I'm just going to give reassurance. I'm just going to do whatever. So I thought the Kit thing was cute. She got a lot of nice vibes. He was like cleaning up the apartment. He was like cuddling up with her in the kitchen. They were making out on the counter. I mean, one-on-one, I think she's a nice girl. I mean, of course, she comes from a very different type of life, and I think she's way too young. I don't like how young she is, but I thought the date was cute enough. What did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was cute. I mean, I think it was interesting because last season with Tisha, when I feel like Ivan specifically got kind of like the short end of the stick a lot of the times between being in like the RV for his overnight, and then like other people were doing different things, and then he got the cooking date, which was fine. But he always had that type of date where it was either cooking or he was staying inside. And typically, I would feel.
Remember, he had to do the ice bath kiss.
Yes. Yeah, right. So things like that, but particularly like the dates where they're kind of just basic versus everybody else might be having other things. And I originally when it was something like, you know, stay inside, and she was like, oh, I hope it's cooking. I'm thinking, is he trying to see how down to earth she is because she grew up with this lavish lifestyle, which I mean is a pretty good, I guess, gameplay in a sense to see how she really is. But I just thought it was so basic. But then I was happy to hear that he connected it between, you know, something that she actually likes to do and she wants to do to really try to open her up and make her feel, you know, I guess safe so that she can feel vulnerable in the space, which I think was nice. I think he just feels like she's a nice girl and likes her vibe, but I don't see much out of that. Nice, it was cute, but like, do I see him going on? Like, I'm thinking to myself, if I saw Matt in New York City, or if I just think of like how people live in New York City, and then him actually dating her, I don't see that. I see them maybe, and when I say date, I mean go in a relationship. Do I see them going on like dates and like outings and meeting new people? Sure. Maybe going on dates for a couple months, but then him being like, there's not really substance here. I'm going to move on. Yeah. You know, she's nice.
I was actually just thinking that this relationship to me gives me the vibe of in real life 3 dates. And
yeah.
3 dates, you know, you might make out a little bit and then it's like, actually, no.
She's nice, but I'm not really, it's just it's not there. Yeah, that's what I feel that too.
Yeah, it's not there. Of course, she's very nice. Again, I think somebody else who will take advantage of paradise, but, you know, nice, but not not for him. You know, I was happy they made it one segment because it was quick, and I was like, I didn't really care. You know.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean, I think he just likes to make out because, you know, I feel like that's all he wants to do. I feel like some people be trying to avoid it from like all these people, but I feel like he just leans into it with everyone, which okay, I mean that's fine.
That's what you want to do.
That's
and he wouldn't be the first Bachelor to do that or Bachelorette, so
absolutely
it is what it is.
No, he's doing great. And then we got what looked like a date card. I was so confused. I'm like, what is? I forget who opened it. But it was so weird. And then they said that they were doing the MJ and Jasenia thing, which is similar to what they did with Bennett and Noah last season. I feel like they're trying to eliminate the 2-on-1. So now they're going to do this type of thing instead of doing a 2-on-1. Because we haven't seen a 2-on-1 in a little bit. So maybe this is just like what they're doing now, which is fine.
Yeah.
I don't see a way that MJ can come back in the house.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't. I see a way that Jasenia can come back, but honestly, if I had to really decide, I think that they're both just going to go. Because I don't, unless, again, there was so much drama so we didn't see it, but I don't really see any connection with Jasenia. And if they are arguing in front of Matt the way they were arguing to each other on that couch, then he's probably going to be like, you know what? No.
I don't know. I mean, I think it could go either way. I think MJ is definitely going, but I don't know if he's going to also have Jasenia go. He might wait until the rose ceremony and then give her the boot. But I'm trying to even think of who's left. And like, he's probably going to get rid of maybe 3 people next time. And I could see if he already gets rid of MJ, probably like a Serena P going. And who else? Because everyone else.
I'm probably Ryan, a new girl.
Maggie
could go. Brittany's still there. I could see her actually going too. The rest of these girls all have to stay because Kit would be my other person, but Kit is, you know,
yeah, sure, got it. Yeah,
everyone else is, yeah, they're in here.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, they're both going home. It's just a matter of one.
It's just a matter of one. It's just not, I mean, he probably is going to be a little bit more disappointed in the MJ thing because, again, I think he does put her in that crush category, but he was never going to pick her. So it's like, whatever, you know, it's fine. That was whatever. I think that was the end. So we'll see.
Yeah. See what happens next week with Tyler Cameron coming in. Excited about that.
Our Bachelor heartthrob is back.
I
I'm
know.
so excited
I know.
Him. And Heather is also coming back next week, which I honestly, the way they had her pull up to the entrance, she wasn't even in Nema Colon. She was in the, I don't even know if she's gonna get on the property. Like Matt might come up there and be like, "Oh, just go home." Like, why are we seeing her at the door? In like, I don't know. I don't even know if she's gonna be able to like change her clothes and go to a rose ceremony.
You're right. I could see him. Yeah, I could see him like meeting her somewhere, and then him being like, "No." But they made it seem like this is going to change everything for Matt. But Matt don't like that girl. He don't want that girl. So it's not. But it did seem like something else was going to happen, and the girls were going to be upset about it. I just don't know what.
Well, Piper screamed in the she was like, "What the F?" Like so loud. So I don't know. I mean, the only thing I was like, oh, maybe they're excited that Tyler's there, but I'm like, firstly, no, she wouldn't have been saying what the F.
Yeah.
So like maybe, I don't know, maybe something else. Maybe they're seeing the MJ and Jasenia thing go down, but I don't think it's anything to do with Heather. I don't even think Heather's going to meet those girls, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I don't think he wants her around. I mean, again, I don't know the extent of their relationship. Maybe I'll try to do some research. But I don't know what their situation was like. But from what I understood, I think that they maybe had gone out on a date or had hung out, but it was like nothing serious. And then she's Hannah Brown's best friend. So Hannah Brown probably was like, "Oh, we'll just show up." And then here she is.
Yeah. I mean, I'm honestly not even excited for the storyline because I can't see them together and I just don't feel like.
No. I'm excited to see who Tyler likes. I'm excited to see what he has to say. I hope we get to see a little bit of that. I hope he gets to host a date. And like, you know, because it might be like how Rachel came for Tayshia. She didn't host a date, she just talked to her. So I kind of hope he gets to meet them to see like what he thinks. But that's it for me.
Yeah, I agree. We'll see. I'm excited for, honestly, next week I'm most excited to see Tyler. I don't care about Heather. I don't care about MJ or Jasenia coming. I'm excited about Tyler and seeing more in their relationships and seeing them develop. I also hope that Piper gets a one-on-one, and I hope that we're able to see that too. But if that doesn't happen, I guess I'll be okay.
Next week for a one-on-one, either Piper has to get it or Abigail has to get it. Nobody's getting it before them, I would imagine. If someone else gets it, I'm going to be really annoyed. But yeah, I'm excited for that. Not excited for MJ and Jasenia, but Tyler Cameron, everyone's been waiting for Tyler. I'm so excited to see him. So
yeah.
Yay.
Well, that concludes this episode of Black Girls Gab. Like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram. Let us know what you think about this episode, and honestly, how you feel about The Bachelor so far. And I think that's it, right, Chanel?
That's it. We will see you guys very soon.
Bye. All right. Bye.